What up, bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Zombie Strike Brainsaw. Too long didn't read. It's pretty much a rough cut with a connected little foam chainsaw thing. That's pretty much it. Included is the blaster itself, the carry handle, the instructions, and a few green elite darts. So going over the external features of this blaster, starting up with the front, this foam thing is a circular disc that spins. This is the chainsaw part. In my speculation video, I hoped that all of this was somehow rotating. That's not the case. It's just a little circle up here. Can you say, lay bummer? But moving up, there's also a sling mount up here that corresponds with the rear one here, or if you want to, connect it down there, whatevs. The little teeth you see here is plastic. That's hard plastic, so watch out when you go for that melee kill. You're probably going to smack him in the face with plastic, but you knew that going into it, right? Of course not. You're always like, oh, 100% accuracy. I can hit you with the foam. Oh, boom! Oh, man, broken teeth. Bam, I smacked you with plastic. That's how melee pans out like every time somebody tries it at a Nerf war. Up here, there's an N-Strike Tactical rail. It is offset at like a 45-degree angle-ish, so I wouldn't recommend putting an optic there unless you shoot like a gangster all the time. I suppose if you're carrying around a chainsaw as your weapon, you're pretty hardcore as it is, so maybe you can just shoot like a sniper, angled, whatevs. Down here are the barrels. There are 4 on this side and 4 on this side, making your total capacity 8 darts, for those of you not mathematically gifted. And down here is the priming handle. Kind of looks like a screwdriver handle to me, and then that kind of looks like a slotted driver head, but I don't know if that's just me connected to your chainsaw. I mean, I don't really get the theme of, oh, he has a chainsaw, so he obviously has a screwdriver too. I don't know. But that's how you prime the blaster. Prime forward, push back, and fire. This blaster does also have slam fire, meaning you can hold down the trigger and the blaster fires when it hits the forward position, like most other slam fire blasters. Up here, there's a carry handle. That's where you can carry the blaster. It's kind of odd if you want to actually fire the blaster, but if you go into chainsaw mode, it makes sense. It makes sense. So you can just chainsaw people, because chainsawing people with a screwdriver handle, that's not as comfortable. You have to have the chainsaw handle. Oh yeah. And if you can see, I just grabbed this little guy. That is what makes the chainsaw blade rotate. Vroom vroom. This is a little string. That's a little plastic handle that I'm holding onto. It's not battery powered or anything like that, so you can always just do this whenever you want. No chainsaw sound effects, but that sounds pretty menacing. I mean, sort of. Moving back, I already mentioned the sling mount. The trigger pull is what you should expect from any spring blaster. No complaints or anything like that. The grip is pretty small, but I have no complaints with my rather large hand. I do think it's pretty comfortable, and the hand strap doesn't really block or restrict, or no complaints there. It just kind of looks cool. And when you're doing your hardcore parkour chainsawing and you end up smashing your hand on something, you're going to be happy that you have a little guard there, right? Oh, can't touch my fingers. Oh, but I can chop your head off with my chainsaw. Or maybe not, if you're not, violent. I don't know. And I already mentioned, again, another sling mount down there. So sling mounts all over the place. Those are the external features of the Brainsaw. Firing the blaster is very simple. You just front load your 8 darts total, and then, fire away. Oh, all out. Firing the blaster is pretty fun, but the performance is pretty awful. I got an average velocity of about 56 feet per second, and it is worth noting the top barrels fire a whole lot harder than the bottom ones, and that's the Smart AR system. This one is not working very well. The bottom darts just kind of fart out, and you don't really have a hope of shooting very far. So lay bummer about the performance issue right there. But then if you run out and you want to chainsaw somebody, that doesn't run out of ammo. And it's not even petrol powered, so you can just go like this all the time, just vroom vroom and just chop people up. So getting to my opinion on the Brainsaw, I think the overall pros are it's cool looking, it's cool to have a chainsaw. The cons are everything else, like performance and all of that stuff that has to do with shooting. Honestly, if you wanted alternatives that are better than this in every way, get any type of melee toy that Nerf sells, like a sword, and boom, it's pretty much a chainsaw without that all the plastic risk. Because seriously, bros, when you go to melee somebody, you're gonna hit somebody in the face with this plastic bit. And they put the plastic here on purpose, so it protects the foam when you're storing the blaster when you're not meleeing people. So I totally get that it has to protect the foam, but that protection is what inherently causes the risk of when you try to smack somebody with foam, you're gonna hit them with plastic. So it's not really safe for an actual melee toy. It's mostly just to look cool. Unless you just want to go just the tip, doot, 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 then it could be somewhat safe. But then when you want to chainsaw people with, if you pick this up, you're going to want to chainsaw people, and that's not safe. So it's going to lead to some accidental harm. Inconsistent dart firing, low velocity overall, oversized for what you're getting. If you want a blaster alternative, check out the Rough Cut. If you're just after the melee, get any other melee toy. The Rough Cut is effectively the exact same blaster. Slam fire, 8 darts, same capacity, same firing mech, everything. But, it performs better in my experience. and it's much smaller, a little bit cheaper, you know, a better option if you're looking for a blaster. And of course, if you're looking for a melee toy, get a melee toy. So I don't really see a place for the Brainsaw. Hate to be negative because, you know, doing this is pretty fun, but, you know, other toys can do that as well. So that's my opinion of the Brainsaw. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll put a buy link in the description box below. Hopefully the review has provided everything you need to know whether or not you would like to purchase one. That's the review. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay tactical.